Hello everybody. Let me walk you through a story. A story of a small town called Jagrao, 43 kilometers Ludhiana, a district in Punjab. There lives a family of four, a father, a mother, and their two kids. Nothing special, nothing extraordinary, just the father working a little too harsh on himself to see the bright future of his kids. And in all that, he shows up at his own home on consecutive days. And that's where it all begins. So, a very warm morning to each one of you. I am Noor Karna, a student at Chitkara University, pursuing my computer science engineering degree. I also work as a social media manager and a content writer. Basically, a small town girl aspiring to win the world. And when I say I'm strong, I do not mean physically strong. Rather, I mean having a strong mindset. And each one of us who still aspires to fulfill all those dreams that we have in our lives is a person with strong mindset. Well, they say like being strong is a compliment. Like it's something you should be proud of. But what they don't tell is the weight that you carry while being the stronger one. Because I'm not strong by choice. I am strong by responsibility. The responsibility of holding myself together in front of my mother when she used to feel alone at night and my father could not be there. The responsibility of paying off for all those sacrifices that my father made for me to see me where I am today. The responsibility of being that elder sister to my younger brother, so that in life he looks up at me and say, yes, that's exactly how I want to be. But then arises a question in my head, why me? Why did I have to go through all this while I could just be resting in my father's arms, feeling all the love in the world? But it's rather I keep thinking about these questions this way, or I just move on, keep a step ahead, and look at what life holds for me. In my initial years, I did not really realize that this factor was so crucial to me that it shaped me into the kind of individual that I am today. It made me strong. It made me tough. But it kept me yearning for that consistent emotional comfort that I never got. Well, multiple students like me in their 20s, maybe even sitting in the audience, stay awake at night, overthinking their future, their relationships, their friendships, family, career, and whatnot. And it itself becomes a survival crisis, because waking up the next morning with a smile on your face is a battle that we all win when we thought we just lost last night. Well, the irony is that I used to think of myself to be a very strong person until it hit me in standard 8th when I was completely shattered. Now imagine a girl doing exceptionally good in her academics, topper from grade 1, a student in the good books of every teacher, and suddenly she faces an academic downfall. She starts to fail in her personal life. because she was being emotionally manipulated by a guy of her own age. She was not really aware of her own self-rights, and she felt like she was to blame. Hence, she could not share it with any of her friends, her family, or even teachers. Now, that was when she started to lose her charm. Life ahead looked blur. And that's exactly when the thoughts of self-harm started to creep in. She used to fight battles every single night, but could not gather the courage to share it to anybody. But there's this universal force that I still believe in that stopped that girl from playing with her life and renovated her in the ways that people could not even think of. She became aware of her own self-rights and became a bold woman, ready to take stand for herself and for the people around her. Well, she started to move on, to become a stronger person. And she did. She definitely did. She became a very different person. But what she lost that day was a little child in herself. Some days she just wanted to be a kid. There were days she wanted to say it's too much. She wanted to cry it out loud. But if something needed emotional stability, she became it. She became stronger than you could imagine. And people call it maturity, but maturity is nothing, just childhood leaving early. But now, her mindset was different. All she could see was the future ahead. All she could see the opportunities coming if she keeps just one step forward. What would happen, what rooms she could enter in by just knocking at the right one. And that's exactly what I kept on doing. I started to indulge myself in even more activities, even more things that came in my way. I started to take up every single thing. That was a good part. But when you start doing things good, you raise the expectations of the people around you. Too much to an extent that sometimes your life starts feeling belong to more to the people around you rather than yourselves. Well, it somehow happened with me as well. All I used to think was, what if I do not do good? I'm going to hurt the people who are expecting this, even standing on this stage right now. What if I do not perform good? What about all those people looking at me, investing their time, listening to me? Well, expectations really hit you hard. And I still remember this little incident from my life when I was in grade 10th and my parents got to meet the principal of my school. Well, he told my parents that she is one of the brightest kids that I have. Really, a moment of proud for me. Of course, I could see the smiling faces of my parents. But along with that came another line from his mouth, which said that I can really see her becoming an IAS officer in her life. Nobody could see it, but I was pressurized. I was haunted by the fear of letting him down. I was just a 10th grade girl, just figuring it out for herself, when I was suddenly told to be an IAS officer. What if this is not what I want? What if this is something different from what I want to be in life? What if I'm more interested in performing arts or fine arts? What if I fail? Well, at that moment, I did not have the courage to put this question up. For it costed the shine in the proud eyes of my parents. And all I could say was, sure, sir. And when you start to look at life in this way, you start to become a different person. A character in you arises. You start being more competitive. The things that you enjoyed doing once become the things that you are supposed to be good at. Now, if I love dancing, why not I just try and go in a dancing competition? So, I did it. There's a misquote that says, Jack of all trades, master of none. But the real quote is quoted by William Shakespeare that says, Jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than master of one. Which particularly means that you do not have to be perfect at one single thing, but rather be good at multiple things. I followed it. I started going at the group dance competitions, the group music competitions. I became DAV state chess player. I was doing good academically. And then I started to feel even more alone. Because all I was doing was investing time on myself, not on my friends, not on my family, not anybody. Then I became the head girl of my school, and there was this little spark in me that told me that interacting with people is such a fun thing to do. That you could just go on and know about the lives of all the people around you and gather a little bit of everyone. Here comes the turning point, wherein a small town girl who has never even traveled alone was supposed to do a degree in a college 135 kilometers away from her home, alone in the hostel. Well, I was very scared because I thought I belonged to a very different background, and it hit me when I came into the college, when I saw the students. They were from all different backgrounds, different cities, speaking different languages, but mixing up together. So that spark in me that told me to talk to the people made me that extrovert kid in every group that all people know. Now, that is a good thing, but it has its own consequences. I used to wear this cheerful face mask all day long. That it happened to me one day. I was sitting to a very close friend of mine, and I told him the storms I'm facing each night, the way I'm breaking apart, the way things are hitting me each day. And he would say, oh my God, Noor, I could really not see you this way. I was not expecting this from you. I really did not know you were like this. And that day, I felt so emotionally exhausted and tired, so tired of keeping this mask on for so long, that I decided that I do no longer have to be strong, that I can be the way I am. I started to indulge in more things. This social media manager thing, I started at that time. And I got less time for myself. I started to stay a little more stressed, that I would cry on every single minor inconvenience happening in my life. And a few days later, I was sitting with the same friend of mine, talking about the same problems in my life just to listen one thing from his mouth, क्या यार नूर कब तक रोती रहेगी? Well, it hit me so bad that I just wanted to stay quiet. I just wanted not to share anything with anybody. This is worse than the previous one, I tell you. But again, that was very emotionally exhausting. I was keeping busy myself all day so that I could not think about anything happening in my life. But as W.B. Yeats would say, too long of a sacrifice make the stone-hearted person. And before I could become that stone-hearted person, I realized what was good for me and what was not. I became the person I am today, standing right in front of you. I made peace with myself, and I realized that this is not the end. Now, how do I prove it to you? Well, I can. While coming on this stage, I was feeling so nervous that I almost thought I'd forget everything on stage. And that's why I kept this paper in my pocket. That what if I forget? I'll just read it out. Let me show you this, a blank sheet of paper. That is what I have gained through the years. The confidence of putting myself out in front of each one of you. So if I can do it, you can do it too. And trust me, this is not the end. This is never the end. Just you giving a birth to the new version of yourself. And a more iconic way to put it is a line quoted by Bollywood superstar Shah Rukh Khan, just as he would say, हिंदी फिल्मों की तरह लाइफ में भी अंत में सब कुछ ठीक हो जाता है और अगर ठीक ना हो तो वो अंत नहीं पिक्चर अभी बाकी है मेरे दोस्त. That was all. Thank you so much. This is Noor from Chitkara University.